Hey everybody, welcome back to the Relentless Sportsman channel. On today's video, I'm going to share with you exactly how you can dry out a boot, especially a boot with a liner, for basically no cost at all. Stay tuned. If you're new to this channel, the Relentless Sportsman channel, please consider subscribing. I talk everything hunting and fishing, and it's my goal to help people become more well-rounded in the outdoors. All you're really going to need are two things. You're going to need your boot and the liner, if it comes with one. If not, this will still work for regular boots without liners. And you're going to need standard newspaper. Not the shiny stuff with ads, the regular good old newspaper. So when it comes to using a boot, especially rubber boots with liners or leather boots with liners, they tend to get wet on the inside, either because the boots leak or more commonly because you sweat. That's probably the most common way that you're going to accumulate moisture inside your boot. So for this video demonstration, I'll be using these Baffin Titan boots. I made a video about these boots doing a complete review. I'll put that down in the description if you want to watch that as well. But for this video, I'm going to use this boot because it comes with a very thick liner. And when you use a boot just like this one, your feet often sweat if you walk a long ways. So the first thing you need to do is remove the liner from your boot. You want to dry both the boot and the liner. Okay, now that you have them separated individually, let's focus on just the liner for this bit. The liner you're going to want to place over top of some type of heat source. That could be a vent. That could also be a wood stove like I have behind me. It works with a pellet stove. It works with an LP stove. Any kind of heat source you have in your home, you're going to want to set this near that heat source. So if you're choosing to use a vent like this, you can set it, sort of like this, so it's up on top of the vent. That heat is going to rise. It's going to dry this part of your boot. Now, the one thing that might not work with this is getting the inside fully dried. So to dry the inside, you're going to want to take your newspaper and use that to extract the moisture inside of that liner. So with your liner right up here, you're going to take your newspaper and you want to crumple this up. Something like this is a good size, and you want to place that inside your liner all the way to the toe. Place it all the way in. It should come all the way up there. Take your next piece and do the same thing. Now, since I use a wood stove for heat, what I would normally do is I would use a higher chair, like a bar stool, or a chair that you'd have sitting around your kitchen island or something, because the heat from the wood stove is going to come up, it's going to rise. But if you want to use a vent like this, it's the same exact principle. It doesn't matter. You want to take this and you want to put the bottom of the liner in the direction of the wood stove. So what's happening is inside here, the newspaper is taking the moisture from the inside of the boot, while the heat from the wood stove or your vent over here, whatever heat source you have, is taking the heat and drying it out from the outside of your liner. Now you could make an argument that you should use boot dryers instead. Boot dryers that look like this. The problem with boot dryers is that you can only put one pair of boots on them at one time. If you go out hiking as a family and your feet sweat and you need to dry 3, 4, maybe 5 pairs of boots, you probably don't have 5 boot dryers in your home that you can use at one time. Let's say that you're on a snowmobiling trip with your buddies and you want to get your boots dried after you come home from snowmobiling late in the evening. You want to get them dried so that you can use them early the next morning or at some point in the next morning to go out and snowmobile again so you don't have wet feet. Remember, the most common way to get moisture inside your boots is actually from sweating, not from boots leaking. Once you get home from doing whatever you did, ice fishing, snowmobile, you name it, you want to make sure that you get the newspapers in your liners and boots right away. Then 3 or 4 hours later, you're going to change out the newspapers to put dry newspapers inside your boot. And remember to add newspapers inside your boot itself. So if you put newspapers inside your boot and inside your liner, you're probably going to have really dry boots when you wake up the following morning. Keep in mind, this is basically a free way to dry your boots. You can buy boot warmers, those work well, but most people don't have 2 or 3 boot warmers that they can use. If it's just you that you're concerned about, that's fine. But when you've got a family or you're on a trip with some buddies snowmobiling or ice fishing in the winter, once those boots get sweaty, you're going to want to get those dried immediately so you can use them the next day. Otherwise, you're going out in the woods or out on the lake or on the snowmobile trails the following morning with wet boots, and that's not fun. That's a good way to get your feet cold. It's a good way to be really uncomfortable, and it's very avoidable at the same time using the method that I just shared with you. So let's make a brief recap here. Take off your boots immediately, separate the boot from the liner, make sure you put fresh newspaper, the dry kind of newspaper that's not shiny, inside the liner and the boot as soon as you can. Keep them in front of a heat source, that being a wood stove, a pellet stove, an LP stove, maybe the vent on the floor in your house. 3 to 4 hours later, change out the newspaper for dry newspaper and put them back on the heat for the following morning so that you can use them for whatever you're doing, hunting, fishing. Thanks for stopping by the Relentless Sportsman channel. If you learned something new today, let me know. If you have another way of drying off your boots, whether that be boots with a liner or boots without a liner, leather boots, rubber boots, doesn't matter. Drop it down in the comments below because I'd love to learn another way that you found effective at a low cost to dry your boots after you get wet from either sweating or from a leaky boot. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next time.